My name is Quinonez, United States Marine Corps. So what is Operation Restore Hope? So Operation Restore Hope is a way that I can help my brothers and sisters who are struggling with the effects of war, or just struggling to fit back in to society after they've been in the military. So a lot of us struggle when we come out because when you're in the military, it's somewhat of an institution. So when we join the military, we join to serve our country and to serve others. And when we're there, we learn to serve our brothers and sisters. And it just becomes a part of who we are. A lot of guys, they wash out of the military because they don't have that servant's heart, because that's just not the way God designed them. So we see guys wash out all the time, and it's because they're selfish. They put themselves above the platoon. So with veterans who do well in the military, and they serve faithfully and honorably, when we come out of the military, we struggle because we miss the camaraderie, and more often than not, we do not find ourselves in a servant role. The guys who do very well are the guys who go into police, firefighting, EMT, social work, pastors, because they're still serving the community and they're still making a difference in the world. So for the rest of us who can't get into those fields for whatever reason, we really struggle with finding our place because we have that servant's heart. And if we're not operating in a servant capacity, we struggle. So Operation Restore Hope is a way to remind them who they are and the design that God gave them. So we take a group of veterans who are struggling, we take them down to Mexico. Now, the reason we take them down to Mexico is there's a couple really good reasons. Number one is that most of these guys were injured in a foreign country, stricken with poverty. So I want to bring them back to a place that their body remembers, that their subconscious remembers. It's going to be a little bit of a trigger for them because most of their experiences in a third world country were negative. Okay, so the heat and the dust and the dirt and the poverty, all of those things their body is going to remember, and it's going to try and make a negative memory out of it. So by bringing them on Operation Restore Hope and showing them that despite their disability, despite that whatever it is that's hindering them, that they can still make a difference in the world, and they can still be a hero, and they can do it today, it rewires their brain. It teaches them that they still can make a difference in the world, and that whatever it is, that disability that's holding them back, it rewires their brain so that it becomes a positive memory now. And it restores that hope in their life that they still can make a difference. Because 22 veterans commit suicide every single day. And it's not because of the PTSD. I'll tell you that right now. It's not. Because in the military, we were designed and we were taught how to endure hardship. Better than anybody else in the world, we can endure hardship because that's just what we do. We embrace the suck. It's not the PTSD. It's the feeling that we don't make a difference anymore and that our life doesn't have value. That's why guys commit suicide. So you stack PTSD and the panic attacks on top of the depression, the feeling like you don't make a difference, and so guys just check out. So my goal, and it's the job that God has tasked me with, is to share this hope that I found on the mission field with my brothers and sisters. I had a pastor who pushed me to go on the mission field. Lauren Lichty. He pushed me to go to Mexico to build a house. And like every other one of these veterans that spoke today, we were done with going to a third world country. We didn't ever want to do that again. But I had a pastor push me to do it, and I did, and it changed my life. Since my first missions trip, I've been on 4 or 5 missions trips every year for the last 6 years because that's what God had called me to do. And now He's changed that. He wants me to bring my brothers and sisters. He wants me to show them the hope that I have found and the love that I have found through Jesus Christ. That's my calling. So everybody's heard the story of the starfish, where there's a young boy early in the morning walking down the beach after a big storm, and it's washed thousands of starfish up onto the beach. And he's cheerfully walking down the beach, picking up one starfish at a time and chucking it into the water, and this old man watches him for a few minutes and walks down to the boy and says, "What are you doing?" He goes, there's millions of these things all up and down the beach. What difference could you possibly make? And the boy ponders for a minute, picks up another starfish, and chucks it into the water. Says, I made a difference to that one. For the last 6 years, I've been a starfish chucker. But now, God has called me to be the gatherer of the starfish chuckers. There's no better people group to do what I'm doing, to be a missionary, than those in the military. The transition from military to missionary is very easy. In both accounts, you work long hours for very little pay. You are going to dangerous places that most other people would never consider going. And everywhere that you go, there's a certain part of the population that probably wants to cut your head off. So being a missionary and being in the military are very similar. The only thing that changed is the mission. Now we're not going to kill people and destroy buildings. We're going to save souls and build infrastructure. Because every time we build a house, or we dig a well, or we build an orphanage, whatever we're doing out there, we are building a tool for ministry. We're working with a local pastor or a local missionary, and we're giving them a tool for missionary. We're giving them a platform from which to speak, to preach the gospel. Every house that we build in Mexico with Operation Restore Hope is a beacon of light to that community. And it's an opportunity to share the gospel. Because that family, why did these guys come from America to build this house? We did it because Christ compels us to. And we share that love with that family, and they turn around and share it with their community. And it just grows. And there's no better people group in the world better equipped to handle the hardships of the mission field, and that would have the intestinal fortitude to get the job done than the U.S. veterans. This is exactly what we've been designed to do. So here at Operation Restore Hope, that's what we're doing. We're bringing these guys together, we're giving them hope, and we're showing them that they can still make a difference in the world, and they can do it today.